Coming up on Mountain News this morning, members of the National Guard give hospitals across the Commonwealth some extra help. And a new bill introduced in the state capitol has Kentucky emergency responders in an uproar.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning to you. It's Monday. I'm Dakota Makeris, and it's just before 5 o'clock, and boy, does the weekend fly by. And let's head on over to Brandon Robinson for a quick look of our forecast. Brandon, I think it's, a much calmer week this week?
Yes. Well, parts of it anyway. Yeah. Parts of it. But yeah, it's going to be a much calmer week overall, let's put it that way. But some things still could pop up and cause us some issues there. Looking for one tomorrow and one on Friday. Let's see what's going on this morning, though, in quiet conditions all weekend long. We look at our Buffalo Mountain camera, and you'll see still quiet this morning. A few clouds starting to drift in, mainly clear skies for a lot of folks there, but you can kind of see where the clouds are and the clouds are not. That stretch there from basically London toward Harlan and over toward Wise, some clouds, and then up toward Moorhead and Irvin, not as many clouds at all. So teens, 20s, close to 30 there in some locations this morning. So you'll need a little extra coffee this morning just because it's Monday, and of course more because it's a cold morning out there, so be ready for that. Your out the door forecast features a mix of sun and clouds and temperatures in the 40s this afternoon. I think we'll get to around 45 a little bit later today. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you. Perry County Schools Superintendent Jonathan Jett announced his school district will use NTI days this week as COVID-19 cases climb across the county. Jett said in a Facebook post that many employees were positive and must quarantine for at least 5 days. The district plans to use the NTI days from January 24th through the 28th. The school district will also be delivering meals to students on Tuesday, January 25th. Now, we have information on how to get your meals delivered to your student on WYMT.com. Harlan County High School will also be using NTI Day today. Harlan County Public School leaders say that all other schools in the county will be open as normal. HCHS reportedly had several teachers stuck in a quarantine window until Tuesday, and not enough substitutes to cover their classes. Substitutes who were asked to work at the high school are now going to be covering classes at elementary schools. Governor Andy Beshear says more than 440 National Guardsmen are helping out at hospitals across the state. Both Governor Beshear and Dr. Stephen Stack, Commissioner of the Kentucky Department for Public Health, hope that the Commonwealth will soon turn the corner on the Omicron surge. The governor employed Kentuckians to order their at-home tests, which are now available through the federal government at covidtests.gov.
Best step, getting vaccinated and boosted, wearing a well-fitted mask when gathering indoors, and continuing to wash your hands often and practice social distancing.
Governor Beshear also noting that almost all COVID deaths under the age of 60 are among unvaccinated people. A bill introduced in the Kentucky State Legislature has EMS workers in an uproar. House Bill 296 calls for significant changes. The first, establishing a 60-minute maximum response time for hospital patient transfers. Proponents of the bill say the time requirement would be a welcome change, saying an average wait time for patient transport is 7 to 8 hours. But the Boyd County EMS Executive Director says most of those transfers are non-emergent, and this would take crews away from responding to 911 calls.
Then there's going to be a shortage of ambulances available for that person out there in the public who needs something immediately, because that may very well be life-threatening. And they're not getting any care until the ambulance gets there.
The bill is also calling for regulation to be returned from the Kentucky Board of Emergency Medical Services to the Cabinet for Health and Family Services, where it was until 2006. The bill was introduced January 13th and is still in committee. Another redistricting bill has become law. Senate Bill 2 deals with boundaries for state Senate districts. Governor Andy Beshear did not sign or veto it. The measure became law at midnight without a signature. Last week, the governor did veto bills redrawing state house districts and U.S. congressional districts. The legislature voted to override both vetoes. The Kentucky Democratic Party filed a lawsuit to keep them from going into effect. No hearing has been scheduled. Well, winter storms continue to slam the Commonwealth, and potholes are causing problems all across Kentucky. Road crews across the state have been busy with winter weather. Unfortunately, That process can create potholes, and Kentuckians are seeing an increase. The ground condenses and contracts with temperature flexes, which aid to the formation of potholes.
Well, potholes form by water seeping into cracks in the asphalt. And of course, with salting, plowing, the sheer volume of traffic, these small cracks then become large holes.
Officials say the heavy rains we've been getting can make potholes worse. They say the Kentucky Division of Transportation is fixing potholes year-round, but the best way to get one fixed is to call in. Road crews need the help from the public to fix them. Some plumbing companies say they're short on technicians and struggling to keep up with calls that are coming in. Now, this time of year, often issues caused by the weather. Joe Barker, a plumber in Lexington, recommends if you have a crawl space, making sure it is sealed so no cold air can get in, and keeping your faucets dripping on very cold nights can also help.
What that does is it keeps the water circulating through the pipe. Moving water it takes a lot longer to freeze than water setting still.
Now, there are insulated blankets you can buy to cover your water heater as well. Barker says you'll know if you have frozen pipes when you try to turn a faucet on and nothing comes out. It is possible to thaw the lines on your own, but he says it's best to call a professional who can handle the situation safely. Well, it's tax filing season, and you can start filing your taxes today. Now, the state will begin processing tax returns on February 7th. Electronic returns will take about 2 to 3 weeks to process, with refunds issued shortly after. The state says due to COVID, they do have a limited staff, but will work hard to process returns quickly. You can check the status of your refund on the state's website. Thank you so much for getting your Monday morning started with us here on Mountain News this morning. When we come up, some chilly weather in the north leads to some stunning images at one of the Great Lakes.
The sun will return today and take us back up into the 40s for daytime highs. Unfortunately, temperatures will take a tumble for the next couple of days. I'll have those details in about 3 minutes.